You've seen how you can use WordPress to add additional pages to the site. Now, WordPress pages don't have to use the same template. With Dreamweaver, you can create your own new page templates and then integrate them into WordPress. Now, to do this, we're going to start by copying over a couple of files just to give us a little bit of a running start at the project. I'm going to open up Chapter 5 and then go to the code. And this contains two files, which I will select and then copy. And now I'm going to go to my site root. And of course, on the Mac, it's the htdocs. And if you're using the Windows WAMP, it's www within the WAMP folder. And once you get there, open up your site, which is the explore_ca, and then drill down into the blog, the WordPress site. And we're going to go right to where we had the theme that we set up, which is contained in WP Content, Themes, Explore. And once we get to Explore, we're going to paste them in. And since I have some versions of them here, we're going to replace those versions. And now we're good to go, and we're ready to jump over to Dreamweaver. Now what I'm going to do is open up one of those files that I brought in that's called Design Blank. So I'll just choose Open here, and we're in Explore, which is the theme that we're working on, just to make sure. And then let's go down to Design Blank, and then open that up. And this is a standard template file that is primarily static HTML. I stripped out all the blog post information that we have here, and I'll scroll down so you can see that. And also I just went ahead and finished out the footer so you can get a sense of what that should look like should you take that challenge from the previous video. Now I've added in a kind of generic heading up here that is contained in a generic div called a template ID. And because I might want to create multiple templates, it's a good idea to set up a kind of more generic template like this that you can use over and over again. So now what we're going to do is take this basic template page and then create a specific template page that we'll use for the WordPress integration. And this is one that we'll use for special events. So I'm going to save this as templates. And I do this just to keep all of my templates in an easily definable place. So I'll start them all with templates and then say which template it is. This is special events, and press return. Let me go ahead and modify the title up here, since that's right up top of Dreamweaver. Now, one further little customization that I'm going to do will be right to the div that has the template ID, because I want to be able to address this specifically in case I need to for any purpose. I'm going to go ahead and add a class to that. And one easy way to do that is to bring up the quick tag editor, which I do by pressing Command T, and that will give me that selected tag. And now let's go ahead and just add a class. You can see that Dreamweaver provides the code hints, and I'm going to call this Special Events. Okay, so all of that sort of customization is done. And now if we were to bring this up into WordPress at this point, it might have a little trouble finding the style sheet. So we're going to use a little PHP code to tell WordPress where to look for the style sheet. So let's switch over to Code View, and I'm going to go up to the top and find my link to the style sheet, which is right here. So you notice that this is just a document relative link. Now we're going to add in some, as I said, PHP code so that WordPress will know which directory to look in to find style.css. So we'll start it off with a PHP directive, and I'll close that out so that I can get my color coding back. Now before I go any further, I want to introduce you to another new feature that was introduced with Dreamweaver CS5, and that's site-specific code hinting. I can enable it by going up to my Site menu, and here you see site-specific code hints. I'll open up that dialog box, and this was added specifically for content management systems like WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal to help in working with the code. So if I open up the structure list here, you can see I do have those three. I also have a new from blank if there is some other custom CMS that I might be working with. Dreamweaver identifies this as a WordPress page, so it pre-selects that for you. And if I click on the folder icon, you can see that it is actually pointing right to my subroot that contains the WordPress files, blog. It has also already gone ahead and recursively gone through that subroot in order to identify all the files that might need the site-specific code hinting, and including all the ones in theme, etc. So we are good to go here. I can just click OK to apply that. And now I can go ahead and invoke the code hints by pressing Control Spacebar. That's the same on both Mac and Windows. And that will open up my site-specific code hints. And I can look for the specific function that I'm trying to find. Now, I know it begins with blog. That's all I can remember. So I'm going to just start to type in blog, and there it goes right to it. This is blog info. This is a very handy function that allows you to pull in a lot of information that has been stored in the MySQL database via WordPress. So let me go ahead and just hit return or enter here. So that will start out the blog info function. And now, as I said before, I'm looking for the style sheet directory. And WordPress has a very nice habit of using actual English, which I very much appreciate. So you could just type in style sheet _ directory and close off the single quote and then close off the parentheses. Add a semicolon to finish off the command line. And we're almost done here. Now, when WordPress returns the string, that is the style sheet directory, it does not contain a trailing slash. This is consistent throughout WordPress. It's just one of those things that you really need to know. So we'll go ahead and add a slash right before the style.css. So this should be locked and loaded. I'm going to go ahead and just save that to retain that change. Now, to change this page that is mostly static content into a WordPress template, you only have to add a very simple bit of code right up at the top. This is put into a PHP code block. And I'm just going to use a multi-line syntax here just so make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing. I've closed off the PHP code block, and this is actually just a comment. PHP uses the /.star type comment. So let me put in that code there. And the text that you need to use within the comment is the words template name, identifying it as a template, and then asking you for whatever the name is going to be. And then you put in whatever you'd like to call this template. So this is special events. And that's it. It's very, very straightforward and simple. A PHP code block that contains a comment, and within the comment, template name : whatever the name is. Okay, let me go ahead and save this page again. And now let's flip back to our dashboard. Because this is all on a local development system, changes like this are instantaneous. So once you have saved your file, you're really good to go. So let's test it out by going to our Pages section, clicking on Pages, and you'll recall we've done one page called Things to Do in California. So this is what it currently looks like. You'll recall that we have the Alcatraz photo there, as well as the kind of plain top. One of the features in WordPress is that we can go ahead and change the template. So over on the right-hand side under Page Attributes is the template option. And right now it's set to default template. There is one other default option that WordPress includes called one column, no sidebar. And here is our custom template, special events. So let's choose that. And then we'll click update. Once the page is updated, let's take a look at it. And now you can see my generic heading. However, there are no posts here. We'll need to add a bit more code to the Dreamweaver page in order to bring those in. So let's go do that right now. So you'll notice that our styles have disappeared, and that's to be expected because we added in that dynamic style sheet directive. So let me change the heading to special events. And then we're going to open up another PHP page that is within the Explore theme, and that is called page.php. You'll remember from previous videos that we had a header.php for handling the header, footer.php for handling the footer. The page.php contains the code for repeating all of the posts, and that's what we're going to copy and place into our template. So I'll open that up, switch back to code view so we get everything. So right here, right where it says after content, there is a PHP block that we're going to copy. And you want to copy all of that right down to the end while. I'll do a Command C to copy it over. And then let's go to our templates. And we want to place this right after the heading template ID, but within the content area. So I'm just going to put my cursor at the end of that closing div there, and then hit return, and now paste it in. Okay, so we now have the PHP coding in place. Let's flip back over to WordPress And actually, since I have this up and running, I'm going to go ahead and just hit reload. There's my new special events. And well, there's the blog post. Pretty cool, eh? So you can see that developing new page templates in Dreamweaver is really a great way to extend the flexibility of the WordPress sites while maintaining design integrity.